Hello, YouTube. This is going to be a video. Hello, YouTube. This is going to be a video on nothing in particular. This me trying to fucking message out there on not doing a very captivating job of that, to say the ever-loving least. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's not a lot to say. Just, issues here, issues there. Seriously, had someone watching me and they stopped. I don't know what did that. Also, someone liked me. I don't know who. Kind of odd. Anyways, thanks, whoever you were. I appreciate it. Anyways, Reddit. I've had issues, to say the least, on freaking Reddit as of late, and it has to do with their karma system, where it's like, and if you want to know my Reddit, I don't think I've told anyone, it's called Radical Individualism, and I post a lot of male rights content, anti-circumcision content, LGBTQ, pro-LGBTQ content. And once in a while, I'll post something about wrestling, and that's actually what fucked me, because the wrestling marks massively disliked my content, and whatever. I don't know why somebody liked it in the first place. I'm not gonna stick around or what that was about, but I don't reckon I'll get that fucking viewer back. But anyways, I got pretty much trolled by a bunch of marks who just. There's two kinds of wrestling fans. There's people that liked what used to be called Attitude Era, and that was story, character-based television that often had a lot of sexual content. It was adult-oriented. It was very youthful. Could be very violent, but so can the kind these other people like, by the way. And it had to do with just a very interesting kind of television content that used to be put out in pro wrestling in the late 90s, early to mid 2000s. And TNA was putting it out in 2011, and then they kind of changed their philosophy. Ring of Honor kind of put it out until very recently. Lucha Underground, if they're still around, they put out a lot of the shit. And it's a interesting kind of television that I like, but that's not the point. I'm not here to talk about wrestling. I don't keep up with it. I don't care about it anymore. The point is, it's really hard to get out new ideals, and that's what this fucking country and society really needs, is new ideals. It needs a kind of cultural renaissance. It needs very much a lot of the same things that took place around before the turn of the 19th century, 18th century, maybe even 17th century. And you saw this also in Germany in the Weimar Republic in the 20s, and you saw it even in America in the 60s, maybe even 70s. I mean, like, we had a kind of cultural renaissance, and it's a breaking forth or pouring out of new ideals and new concepts and new thoughts. And the problem with that is, and this is what they do every time, they did it in the Victorian era, they did it in the 1950s, but they try to repress new ideals. They don't want ideals that preach, or people that preach about or advocate for individuality, sexual liberation, things like child rights, animal rights, pretty much human rights. Nowadays, men's rights, in some cases, women's rights, constitutionality in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence. Those kinds of things is what they want to shut up. And those things have their basis in a very humanistic viewpoint and ideology that I support, that I've studied, and it's largely what you would call Luciferian, and it has its basis in the concept of the light bringer, the bringer of knowledge, Prometheus, or in your tradition, what you would call Lucifer. And it is a positive ideology, and it was and it's something they very much want to suppress. And you need to look up, there was something called Project for a New American Century, and they were deciding or talking about in the 70s different things they would do to fuck us all over and to lead us into all these wars. And I'm not going to go into detail about that, but they were doing that then, and they've largely done that. And they don't want to, they very much want to suppress the individual. They don't want the individual to very much be accepted or to do very well in society. They're all about the collective. And the collective can work on a moderate level, I do believe, in some support of class antagonism, for example. I think it's good that the classes ultimately unite. They use collectivism in part to unify people when it means collectivism on a conformist level, but they also use collectivism to divide up the people, and they've divided you into genders and races, religions, classes, and everything else. And it's meant to suppress and oppress the proletariat and the individual. And it's very interesting, and the majority of people have become, I can't think of the word, but mindless automatons, or however you say that. I have to get the word, but these kind of lemming is what I would call them, a almost form of human cattle that are easily herded together, and they just obey and listen to orders, and they do all that. And I don't believe humanity is that. I don't think humanity's place in the universe is to work and serve capitalists and these rich cocksuckers that don't give a fuck about them. Kind of like Carlin. Carlin used to talk about much of this. And part of my message has to do with unifying people under a individualistic message of human rights and human solidarity. And they're very much, 1 minute. I hate you. Fucking shit. There we go. All right. Ow, 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 ow. Anyways, human rights, human solidarity, blah, blah, blah. Back to the point. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, and that's what they very much, I think, want to suppress and shut up above all else. They do not want you to hear that message. And, you know what I mean? It goes back to what I said about circumcision. I think that that is a way of suppressing and dehumanizing the individual and stacking you up in a collective and conforming you, and now you're a part of this, and that is the way that is, and you're going to accept that, and we do this. And that is one of the more glaring, obvious examples of human stupidity, because you ask them, why exactly do you do that? And they never really have an answer, and they don't fucking know, because there is no reason. It's the most obvious dumb thing they do, and perhaps the most of out of anything. And it's just bullshit. So, you know. And I don't know what else I was going to say. I mean, I wanted to kind of show you my dog, because I've never really put my dog on YouTube, but she's showing her ass for some fucking reason. I don't know if she's gonna about something. So that ain't happening. But, you know, I mean, that's about it. But if you want to see my Reddit and if it works, and one of the sites my shit isn't taking on is called Tramspace. It's on Reddit. And I've been very pro-LGBTQ, and I've posted a lot of pro-LGBTQ things, and I don't know why they would have booted me. So I have to figure Reddit's just kind of just shadow blocking me, or pretty much cock blocking my ass, because of I have too many negative votes, primarily from motherfucking Reddit users over a television show, pretty much, a wrestling show, a TV show. And it's unbelievable. And, you know, that's that. I mean, that's about it. I don't really have much else to say, and that's it. And P666.